Yeah. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, Sarah
Hello.
Rutter.
Good. How are you? We were just talking about the
Good.
dance party, how much fun it was.
Oh,
Uh,
yes. So
mhm.
fun.
Like Kimmy and
Uh,
I aren't dancers, and we were out there. I mean, we knew if a rap song came out, Tab would be the one getting down. Jamie, well, she
I
was
was
the
just
first out there.
I was just saying I was highly disappointed the rap was censored in the
I
group
mean,
of
don't they did play my theme song, so how could I
they
not
did.
get out there?
You couldn't resist.
Hello and welcome to Table for Five with no reservations. Take a seat at the table for a fresh, sweet, salty tart, and pleasantly bitter conversation.
Thank you for taking a seat at the table. Tonight we are continuing our series where we're chatting with bloggers, people from the interwebs, talking about why they share. And we have a special guest, Sarah Rutter. Also with me tonight is Jamie,
Hi.
Kim,
Hello.
Rachel,
Hey, everybody.
Jen,
Hi, everyone.
and Sarah.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us tonight. If you want to start with telling the people who you are and a little bit about your family, that would be
Yeah,
awesome.
I am Sarah Rutter. My husband Daniel and I live in Ohio with our 9-year-old autistic daughter, Harper. She is our only child, and she is in the fourth grade at her local elementary school. She participates part of her day with her gen ed class, and the rest of her day is in a specialized learning center. I am also a paraprofessional in a preschool classroom in our school district. So I work in an inclusion setting where half of the children have special needs and half are typical peers.
Awesome. So we are kind of talking to people about why they share. If you want to tell us about your page and when you started sharing and kind of what led you to writing. We're always fascinated. Most of us started writing to kind of splurge some feelings on the internet and educate people and find others. But what led you to starting a blog?
Yeah, so probably like most of you after diagnosis, I was searching the internet for other families that had autism in their life. I found Finding Cooper's Voice, which then led me to all of your pages. And even though autism was the connection with all of them, I found I had individual connections with certain pages. Like one page I might follow because they had a daughter, or one because they had an only child, or one because their child was obsessed with Christmas just as much as Harper is. And reading and hearing those stories, along with a little extra nudge at the caregivers retreat, inspired me to share our story too. I've been sharing on Adventures with Harper Lane on Facebook and Instagram for just over about a year.
In September.
That's
A year in
awesome.
September. If you don't follow Sarah's page, one of my favorite things about her sweet Harper is that she has pretty structured ideas of what she should wear. And while that has become more and more flexible, she's got these signature outfits. In addition to that, she kind of fits into like a routine that's pretty rigid. And so for the last, I'm not certain how long, I'm starting to laugh, Sarah. Sarah has had to make a damn cake every day for her daughter, where Harper sits in the bed, like it sits in the bed with her in a 9x9 pan. She won't eat it. She just looks at it and she needs it every day. And I love a quirky autistic girl more than anything in the world.
Yep, we made a cake before I came over here tonight
Yeah.
to do this. So
Yeah, she's my people.
That's amazing.
yes, ever since she has been young, she just has this confidence, and she has always known what she's wanted, and it's always just been Harper's way or the highway type of thing.
Or Harper's way. Or
Yes.
Harper's way.
I love her love of hats because my daughter also, when she was Harper's age, she doesn't wear them now, but she used to wear them. And your daughter rocks a hat.
Oh yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Good
she
in a
loves
hat.
to accessorize.
Yeah.
We have a lot of those type of gals at this table for sure. The autistic gals with the knows what they want.
Yeah.
Life for sure. How has the sharing been for you with your family and people in your life since you've been writing?
It's been good. I feel like writing has helped me sort of open up more about it. After Harper's diagnosis, I didn't really talk about it much. I certainly didn't share about it on the internet. So I would think I was kind of like protecting my feelings about it, but writing about it and connecting with other people who have similar stories has kind of been like therapy for me. And I've been able to work through some of those hard feelings and then also like really appreciate the successes we've had even more. And then it's also just connected me with this amazing community of other writers who are doing the same thing. So it's been great.
I like how you talked about the successes because that is something you don't think about. Like I didn't think about that at all when I started. Like, of course I want to share those things, but it's nice sharing it to a group of people who kind of get the things that aren't successes to other people, but they are to each other. And then also through like this therapeutic writing, but like it tracks things. So you're like, oh, a year ago we were in no place like this, and now we've like gained this much, which I don't think I would have been as good at like journaling or keeping track of like how things have changed. So I liked how you brought that up.
Do you draw inspiration from any place in your writing?
It's mostly just from Harper. I mean, she's our only child, so the page is predominantly her. I mean, sometimes my like story too, but it's mostly just, you know, whatever maybe her current struggle would be, how she's doing in school. A lot of just fun moments that highlight her personality. Yeah, and then sharing the connections I've made with other people, because I also feel like that's important for people to know that might feel alone, that like there are other people out there too that are in the same boat.
Yes. Yeah. It's nice to get feedback. And sometimes you write about things thinking no one's going to read it, and then it resonates with like more people than you thought it would, which is always nice, especially if you're in a struggle. It's nice to hear like, hey, we've been through that, or we are also, lifting you up kind of to make it through the next thing, next moment, or till the sunshine comes back. Do you have any hopes for your blog for the future, or anything you want to do moving forward?
I just want to continue to share, continue to connect with people. I feel like as Harper gets older and the gap between her and her peers gets bigger, I feel like these connections with other special needs families are gonna like be so important in our life. When everyone else is talking about their kids going to college and doing this or getting married and doing that, I feel like the relationships that I'm building through this are going to be ones that I'll be able to carry for the rest of my life because we're going through similar things. So that's kind of the...
Sarah and I have messaged in the middle of the night before, like the middle, as we do at the table, about just the craziest stuff. Or she's texting a picture because she and Harper are walking circles in their small yard, like at 3 in the morning. Like it's just so relatable. But Sarah, in addition to Molly featured on another episode, met in at Moon Beach, which is one of the retreats with Kate. And because of that, just chance meeting really, or like chance connection at that retreat, they now travel to each other, travel together, and they've got a little table too.
Yeah, it's been really like I wrote a post a few weeks ago, like I never thought that like autism would bring joy into my life, but it's these connections with people and being able to relate even when it's hard that have brought joy into my life. So.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. I love that.
It is super nice. I mean, Kimmy likes to always joke about how none of us would be friends
Just
in
gonna
real
say
life.
that.
But autism, just because of where we live and our kids' ages, and how would we have met outside of autism? Like there's, and we lucked out that there was a pandemic also, and so we were all kind of like all shut in.
One of the first Zooms I did was a girl mom Zoom, and Rachel was like walking around her garage and there was a pool in the garage.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I was like, these are my people. Like, this is where have these people been?
Yeah. We're like chasing a Hellcat, like everybody was in that midday girl Zoom. Like, oh, thank God for this.
Well, I was gonna say, and Tabitha already kind of really already said it, but the five of us often joke about what Kimmy said, but also how we've literally met through the internet and are lifelong friends now. We'll be friends forever, and our children, and then you have that with Molly, and but you know who I'm
Alyssa,
talking,
Nikki,
yeah,
yeah.
Alyssa,
Oh, yes.
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 You know, that your group of people, and that was
Mhm.
also from this crazy time. So it's really amazing, actually, what could come of this, like you said, some joy out of
And the sharing kind of
yeah.
brings that, opens the door. Because I think we're preset to isolation and this life as parents of kiddos who have additional needs. And, you know, it's hard to like open the door and allow people to really see the full view. Most
Mhm.
people don't actually, you
Yeah.
know, see that or understand it anyway. Like you can't speak a lot of things in words sometimes when they're happening.
Come live with
Uh,
me for a little bit, people. Like,
yeah. Yeah. And even that is like a glimpse of the today. Next week we might have another thing going on. I also wanted to ask, so when was your daughter diagnosed? What age?
She was diagnosed a little after 2. So she
Okay.
had some pretty typical signs. She wasn't speaking, didn't interact with other children.
Classic sign.
Yeah.
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 I'm always interested with the, you know, girls, how it goes. Like my daughter was the
Mhm.
same. She was diagnosed right before her second birthday, had more classic signs than my son did.
Yeah.
But often it's harder for girls to get diagnosed.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of had a, because our son already had a diagnosis by that point, it was a little bit easier for us, but
Mhm.
just interested. I'm
Yeah.
interested.
And just since I work in the field, I kind of knew
Yeah,
before that, but
Mhm.
it just, you always, like when it's your only child and your first child, I was like,
Mhm.
maybe this isn't that, maybe it's not. And, but I mean, I knew, but
Yeah.
Oh, Sarah, I stayed in that denial bubble for a really long time. But what I was going to say is, you know, Kimmy's the farthest along in this journey. And, you know, she always used to say, well, why would anyone care what I have to say? And I've said this a million times because you are so, like, you're the future for us. You're so far ahead. And we look to her. I look to her for things that Alyssa's gone through. But I tell Tabitha all the time, Nora reminds me so much of Kaya when she was that age. And I see a lot of the stuff in Harper as well, also the
Mhm.
hats. But it also reminds me, which is what you ladies were talking about earlier, sort of how our kids, how they do change and how they go through those changes. And I look back and I'm like, that's where we were at that age with things. So
Well, and
yeah.
it
When
gives you
she
hope. It gives you hope
Yeah.
for the future. I
Yeah.
mean, like, I always think of that with Carrie Cariello and Jack with my son Nixon because Jack reminds me so much of Nixon. But it's nice to like see the couple years ahead or 10 years ahead or moving into adulthood, like people that remind you of your own children because you can see maybe where the trajectory is going. Maybe not. I mean, we don't know how it's going to land, but it's nice to just be like have a droplet of a view or hope for the future. Even the 9 at the 9. I just got a little 4-year-old, so 9's nice to see too. You know, moving ahead.
it's so funny to be like an 8 or 9 mom in autism. You feel like it's like middle age because you know there's that like 2, 3, 4 period where so many kids get diagnosed, and you feel like that's how it's going to be till the end of time, and nothing's ever going to change. And a couple of years in, we all know that it's a different trend, but it changes constantly. And when you're in this community, at least what's new is like common among friends, you know?
Mhm.
What's new to Celia is like an old hat to Alyssa or something that Sarah's already
Or
dealt with.
Kaya. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I think about that with Kaya too, for sure. All the kiddos on this table. Jesse, same thing for Nixon, Noodle. But the sharing is good. It's nice to be out there writing and tell people where to find you again.
My page is Adventures with Harper Elaine, primarily on Facebook. I do share a little bit on Instagram. Mostly I just do the reels over there, but all my writing pieces are on Facebook.
so
We
everyone's
love-
like, they're like, I'm also on Instagram, but
Yeah, we've heard that from every
Yeah.
person.
Yes.
The
we're all
gram.
bloggers. Facebook's more blogger friendly.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
So we're also old ladies. That's fine.
We loved meeting you guys in Minnesota. I was just saying that it was the part of the
God, you
peak
guys
of
were a
that
riot.
weekend. So good to
We
meet
had
you
so
guys.
much
Your
fun.
energy,
For 5 and the Ohio girls.
yeah,
Yeah.
your guys' energy was on point. Loved it. So
Yeah,
thanks
it
for
literally made so much fun.
it. Really,
Oh, we had so much fun too. We're looking forward to the next get together. Don't know when
Amen.
that is, but
Let's keep it in the warm spots. North Carolina was way better weather.
yes.
yeah. Oh, go give her a follow. Thank you for joining us, Sarah. And is this it?
No.
Yeah, we have one more episode. Kidding.
Thank you for
Just
having
kidding.
me.
Yes.
Love you.
Good night.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us at the table for this episode of the Table for Five No Reservations podcast. If you are enjoying the podcast, please remember to rate and review us wherever you're listening. If you'd love more content from us and to be part of our community, make sure to become a subscriber. You can find the link in the description of this episode. Join us next Monday for more, and while you wait, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. See you next time.